we ask all listeners to gamble responsibly. All odds and tips mentioned in this podcast are personal opinions and used in reference to the Kindred brands. Welcome to a new episode of the Kindred Kick-Off Podcast. I am joined by our podcast veterans, Niklas, Louis and Benji. We actually have some good news this week. We have a Guinness World Record Holder in our midst. Niklas, do you want to take the stage, mate? Tell them all about what's happened this week.
As people will hear, my voice is broken, despite the record being for the longest consecutive played paddle match, which was finished last night. We played for nearly 32 hours, and the thing that is the most broken on my body is actually my voice. So it's going to be pleasant for me to not talk too much today, but I'll still provide some betting suggestions.
So, obviously, a massive congratulations, mate. We're very, very proud of you. I think the whole company is. So yeah, well done, mate.
Thank you.
And props for playing 36 hours of paddle and only have your voice hurting. I think that says a lot about his fitness, so well done.
Thanks a lot.
I'll add in like an edited round of applause for this as well, just because obviously there's only 4 of us on the recording, so it's not going to sound great. But yeah, well done, mate. Also, Louis, we got to make sure that you're not being subbed off at half time today, right?
Yeah. No commitments for another hour and a bit.
Full 90 minutes from you.
Or 90 minutes.
Fantastic. Well, we will kick off with the Man City Nottingham Forest game. Another routine win for Man City. What do we even say? What do we even say about this? Is there much to add? Is there much to talk about? Man City with another routine win.
I have something to add, and for about a year I backed Rotary to get a red card. So now he got it. We didn't tip it, but this guy was due a few cards and red cards. But no, jokes apart, yeah.
You can't go around strangling people.
But you spend 45 minutes with 10 men and you don't even concede a goal.
Yeah.
It's just you don't score one either.
As well.
But interesting to see how Calvin Phillips plays when he's out. I think eyes will be on him, and there's been a lot about how he should leave to get game time and questions whether he's good enough and if he's quick enough, and the next 3 games will show.
So the thing there is it actually came from Jack Grealish's mouth himself. He said he struggled the first year. He said most new guys for Pep tend to struggle. You got to fit you got to fit an idea, you got to fit a way of playing. And I think, maybe all this was just getting acclimated to this. So I agree with you. A lot to show now.
Yeah, this is chance.
Yeah.
Don't forget John Stones, who has more balls than everybody.
Jon Stones, absolute legend, and he's gorgeous. But
shout out to Luke for that one.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, as you said, I mean, we're not going to spend an hour on that. They're just they win every week.
I think we can kind of gloss over the next fixture as well, the glamorous game of Crystal Palace and Fulham, which was enthralling 0-0.
As tipped by the pod. Yeah. Second 0-0 of the season.
Yeah, thrilling London derby there. Saying that, there was another London derby which we will touch on. Another thrilling encounter with Luton and Wolves. Wolves down to 10 men. Luton at home managed to get their first home point of the season.
That's a great point.
Again,
That's a great point.
Yeah. Is it a great? I mean, that's one of these games where it's kind of like another 6-pointer for them, and at home they really need to make these games count.
They were lucky as well with that penalty call. I mean, comes off the body of the defender onto the hand.
Yeah, and not to be a stat freak, but they had 20 shots in the game, 4 on target, but 20 shots. So I agree with you on the should they have won that. But on the other end, and again another tip. Neto, like we've been backing Wolves for a little bit. I thought they were good the first half against Liverpool. So all in all, Luton could be disappointed a little bit not to get more. But, probably you play this game 10 times, Wolves will win most of the time. So yeah, I agree with you though. It's fair.
I just think with Luton, if they've got any hope of staying up, which we've already written them off, they have no hope. these are the games where they have to make it count, and especially at home, like that's 2 points dropped for me.
Yeah.
And also went out in the cup last night to Exeter, so not been a good start to the season. As you remember, I've mentioned last man standing a few times. So my last man standing for this week was Brentford. I was massively let down. So 3-1 to Everton. Obviously, Everton's been the subject of the pod for a few weeks. We've been kind of encouraging them to be at least a bit more hard to break down. Yeah, big win.
Few more tips coming in.
Few
more tips coming in. That Tarkovsky line. No, what was that? What did we? No, we didn't mention that one. I mean, Calvert-Lewin scored, but we stopped tipping it.
Came off the bench.
Yeah, I think again, Brentford had most of the possession and stuff, but I think Everton. Is it coming together? Is it a one-off? Were Brentford really bad? Because we said last week that winning in Brentford is not necessarily super easy, but.
Yeah, I think Everton have looked okay so far this season, except for against Arsenal. I think they're just, without Calvert-Lewin, they haven't really got any clear goal scorers. So they tend to be good up until kind of the box and then struggling to finish. In this game, they managed to finish. So, be interesting to see.
I'm going to start adding like a little siren whenever Calvert-Lewin is mentioned on this podcast. Because I don't know how, but he's always... Like the podcast should just be like nicknamed the Calvert-Lewin podcast. It comes up every week, regardless if he's fit, injured, scored, whatever. He comes up at least once every week. But yeah, as you were saying, Louis, sorry, I just had to jump in then.
No, I'm just saying. I think they've been creating, they just haven't been converting, and in this game they managed to convert. So. Yeah. Let's see if it continues. I mean, Luton next, so not the worst trip to have.
I think they're just fortunate that the teams in and around them, so the teams that have come up, are significantly worse, I think. But again, we'll touch on that a little bit later. The next game was Man United Burnley. I managed to catch the second half, luckily, as I was travelling at the time. Just a good win, I guess, just to get the 3 points on the board. Wasn't thrilling, but yeah, I think we needed points.
Let's be honest. Had you not, I mean, if Burnley or Manchester didn't win that game, we probably wouldn't be recording this pod, right? So I think it's a good thing Man United won. I think there was a few tips flying in the chat. I cracked up. I didn't react in time because I was abroad this weekend. But you tipped something in the chat, such as like Onana to have 3+ saves, and I was like, well, that's all he had the entire season. So that's a great tip. Yeah. More concerning,
he did get the 3
saves.
Yeah,
I know. He doubled his save tally. Yeah. More concerning is at 37% possession for United and less passes and less everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I've been really disappointed with Burnley, to be honest, from the start of the season. Like, everyone was kind of talking up there, like how attacking they were and how good they were to watch. And yeah, they look easy on the eye, but there's no cutting edge to that team whatsoever. I just can't see where the goals are going to be coming from. I think they're a bit too weak. They have some good individual players, but yeah, from the promise that they showed last season and how they were talked up before the season, I've been really disappointed with them so far in the first 5-6 games.
They signed and paid a lot of money for players as well.
Yeah,
I think they had one of the highest net spends in the league. So you kind of, especially where they've got like American owners, they're going to expect some sort of return on that investment, aren't they? One thing I will say about United, and I'm not putting my red tinted glasses on it, it was a very patched up United team where we had Johnny Evans, Scott McTominay.
He was man of the match.
He scored and assisted, and that goal was denied. You cannot say we had Johnny Evans, mate. No.
Well, this is the 5th choice centre back that we're starting the game with in a ground where we haven't won for a long time. And I know this is a very different Burnley to the Sean Dyche Burnley, but as I said, I'm not really making excuses. I just think that if you take that result in isolation, it was just good to get those 3 points.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I'll give you the 3 points. Is a great thing. I just meant when you're United, and I agree some of the defenders were not this, but this shouldn't mean you should withdraw possession to Burnley. So like you have 68% possession with Fernandes and these guys. Yeah, it's a good 3 points, but it doesn't look too good.
Yeah. But when you're playing badly, all you can do is win, right?
Yeah,
that's the best way of getting out of a rot is to get the win, even if it's ugly.
Amrabat played left back for a while as well. That was nice. Versatility and all of that. Let's go.
I was just about to say, not to get up the Carling Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Energy Drink Cup, whatever you want to call it, but we did perform a lot better yesterday, and I know that's again, it's irrelevant because it's a cup game.
But you're building momentum. No, you're right. You're building momentum and confidence, so that's good.
2 clean sheets on the trot as well. I think that's important with Onana.
With all the media speculation and stuff on Onana, I think you're slowly building stuff and
we're getting players back, which is actually really important. So we'll see how that goes.
And our original tip of Burnley to be relegated or not go above 41.5 points. That seems pretty on track. Still early days, but. Yeah, they're not impressive.
We'll probably chop and change the third team that goes down throughout this season. I think the 2 that we tipped originally, like, I can't see any hope for them, and it wouldn't surprise me if one of them breaks that 9 point. Is it 9 points or 11 points? The lowest.
It's Derby, isn't it,
Yeah.
who has the record? Yeah. But it's 9 or 11. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. I think it might be 11.
So yeah, it would not surprise me if we see one of those teams chucking that out there. Speaking of momentum, a team that's not been building momentum, one of the teams that we've tipped on the pod, our favourite team, Aston Villa Chelsea. Aston Villa victorious. Chelsea had about 30 shots on target again and just couldn't score. I'm really rubbing my head with this Chelsea team. Last week, I think I said the number 9 is not just going to won't just come in and solve it, but I don't even know.
It seems like they're so low on confidence. Like, I saw Ian Wright talk about it on Match of the Day, that the Chelsea players are so, like, careful when they're approaching goal, that all they're trying to do is just get it on target and, not really placing the ball and not feeling confident about placing the ball in the corner. You could see, like, when Sterling is one-on-one with the keeper, straight at the keeper. Chilwell as well, straight at the keeper. Yeah,
the confidence is very low.
Shot. And then you get the red card as well.
Yeah.
The run of fixtures they've got.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They need to turn this.
Yeah, they really need to turn it.
Good win for Villa.
Yeah.
Great win. Building up. Chelsea is not doing very well in the start of the season, but for Villa it's good to get those points because they struggled in, a couple of match days of the first 2-3 weeks. So yeah, that team also had a few changes. Sorry?
On paper, it's a great result, a smash and grab.
Yeah.
I watched it. Unfortunately, I watched that game instead of the North London derby due to travel issues. So I missed most of the North London derby. But from what I've heard, through an encounter, I've heard mixed things. Some people saying Arsenal got away with it. Some people saying Tottenham got away with it. So break it down for you boys.
I think it was a bit of a roller coaster match. I think it really had its moments where it felt like Arsenal were going to run away with it. At points, it was Tottenham going to run away with it. I think, by and large, 2-2 was a fair result.
What we said last week is neither team wanted to lose it. I didn't watch the game, so they probably played to win as well. But I'm sure they were both not too unhappy not to have lost it.
No.
So...
Well, before I had to leave the pod last week, the 3 kind of bets I had on the cards was like over on goals, over on cards, over on corners. And sorry I had to leave early because all of those 3 kind of came in. But I mean, it's nice to see those North London derbies now where it's all out attack from both teams. It's not just that deep sitting kind of a bit
Mourinho
dirty play with under Conte and Mourinho. It's still very edgy and is very clear neither team wants to lose, but I was really entertained, and it was probably the North London derby I was looking forward to the most in years.
Yeah, I'll give you that, a bit more football.
I think Udogie, I thought he was going to be sent off. He was in trouble.
Yeah,
yellow card after 13 minutes, which was a bet
he composed himself for the second half though. I was surprised he didn't get subbed off, but he did get a bit lucky in that first half.
Yeah, and I think that really was the sort of key to Arsenal's success and why they looked so comfortable and so in charge of it. That was when he was exposed by Saka. Yeah. Once he composed himself, or whatever you want to call it, I think Tottenham looked better. Maddison did not have a shot on target, which was the only part of one of the spicy bet builders that failed it. But otherwise, again, 2 assists.
Yeah, particularly the way he takes Saka out of the game for that.
Because he's the biggest
for the first goal. Wow.
Got a self tap on the back here to my week 1 shout outs on Son. Took him 3 match days to score, but then he scores a brace or a hat trick every game. Well on track to be Tottenham top goal scorer. Probably a bit more on track for my favourite bet, which was for him to be top goal scorer without Haaland. Which right now...
I have a long shot on him to hit 25 goals this year.
Oh, I went...
40
I went
times the money.
I think I went 15 goals. That was rather safe. I think I might have...
12 and a half was the line.
Might have gone 20 as well.
Yeah.
A smaller stake, long shot. But, you know, he was playing great with Kane, and I always think of Kane as an underrated passer. So Son's goals were coming from Kane's brilliance as well. But now, when he's the main guy, and he's getting used to that, he's deadly.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how he fits with Brennan Johnson. Because I think he had 2 shots on target before being subbed off.
Yeah.
And I think he does a lot of pressing and a lot of movement.
He does, but he doesn't drop deep though. Like Udogie was isolated all the time. So, strange one.
Definitely an entertaining one.
But, best match of the weekend.
Moving on to your team, Louis, Liverpool-West Ham. Good win for Liverpool, who are racking up the wins, although...
the game was already won when Antonio came out 5 days before the game and said that West Ham were going to end above Liverpool at the end of the season. I mean, you don't say stuff like that before games, right? And all you have to do as a manager is literally put that quote up on the screen, on the whiteboard. You leave the room, and that's enough. That's your pre-match team talk. So I think, he lost them the game. When I saw him saying that, I was like, we're going to win by at least 2 goals.
Thank you very much.
And they won by 2 goals. So
I think the good thing is, if we're going to compare it to your previous game, you won 3-1 last week, but it didn't take you 1 half to start the game.
That's true. They did still concede a few big chances at the start of the game, though. So I think Liverpool still got a few things to work with defensively. But going forwards looks very promising. Darwin Núñez, love him.
On the tipping side, I mean, it's no longer a tip, and we should stop giving it. But Bowen to shoot on target and score, it's just ridiculous. I'll
get back to that in a bit.
I checked him for this week, but there's almost no value for him to shot on target anymore, which is logical given what he's been doing. No cards on the Liverpool side. You know, clean game. Van Dijk, was that Van Dijk's first game back?
Yeah.
So I mean, West Ham now they're going to be tested with a game every 3 days and stuff like that. Let's see that depth for the Antonios.
And that's the same. That's the same for our next team as well, the South Coast Derby, Brighton, who lost in their European game, turned it back on against Bournemouth.
Yeah, but he said himself he shouldn't probably not have swapped out 9 men from the previous match, right? And I think you could see that.
I was fuming.
Well,
I backed them against Athens, and they didn't have a good price, so I went to get some bet biller as well.
Yeah. We were all there.
I took it, took it very, very much for granted. That being said, they bounced back in the weekend. Yeah.
But they were really poor in the first half. Down 1-0. Yeah. Just scored just before the end of the half goal as well, I think. Then Mitoma comes on half-time and basically gets a couple of goals in.
That guy
he's a very, very, very good
something.
at football.
He's something.
I mean, he's got a diploma in dribbling, right?
Yeah. And you can tell.
He did his dissertation in dribbling.
Yeah.
Which is...
It sounds like an insult. Like if you said to someone, "What do you get your degree in dribbling?" It sounds like you're insulting someone, but he's genuinely got a degree in dribbling.
Yeah.
And he shows it.
Yeah. But I think a little word of caution there, and I think a reminder is playing European football is not a simple thing.
No.
To balance that, and I think it tends to be this cliche where how are you going to balance the European side with a league? And I think we've given nothing but praise to De Zerbi.
No, it's great.
And as brilliant as he is, the squad of Brighton, the depth and the system, they are still struggling to do this. And I think it just goes to show it is a balancing act.
But you could also argue that I don't know how many of their players have played any European game and so on and so on. So, that was their first one.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to learn from it. They're going to learn from it as a squad. Yeah. I think as much as they want to do good in Europe, if they had to choose, not win the Athens game and win the Premier League game, they'll take that.
Yeah.
I think they'll take that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they balance it. Not just them, also I think Liverpool and West Ham.
West Ham as well.
And Villa. They'll all be having to juggle that squad.
But Liverpool has played countless seasons in Europe. Klopp as well. He knows what to balance, what not to balance.
Sure,
So for Brighton, it really is a first thing.
Yeah, it's just I just think Europa is just that little bit harder. When you've got Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Moving on to the final game of the week, cricket score, Newcastle versus Sheffield United, 8-0.
8 different goal scorers. 8 different goal scorers.
That's insane.
That's it. I don't think it's. I think it's a record.
It must be.
Here's another crazy stat. So the last time Newcastle beat a team 8-0 was Sheffield Wednesday, 1999, and it was also in September.
Wow.
Nice,
Gotta love these.
nice little bit of fact for you all there.
Sheffield United were poor, dirt poor, didn't have a chance. I think there's a reason their manager is the favourite to be the next manager to lose his job. I think he's down to 150 or 1 to 2 if you want to talk fractionals. Yeah. They're so poor, man, and it didn't look like the team were playing for their manager. They were completely open. It was embarrassing.
It's a mess. My Newcastle mate did message me this morning saying, make sure you give Newcastle the props they deserve. So yeah, well
they
done,
were
Newcastle.
Great. Anthony Gordon particularly was really, really good. I think Trippier got 3 assists as well in the game, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, really strong performance from them. But Sheffield United were garbage.
I agree.
It's a good win for Newcastle after a few not so good results. It's good that they're building momentum as well. They have a tough one in the Champions League this week against Paris.
Yeah.
Paris next week.
At home though.
At home.
Yeah.
As a PSG fan, we were pretty good against Dortmund. Mm-hmm. We were very good against Marseille, but they haven't been performing so well. So Paris is also building the confidence to a degree. So yeah, after a few disappointing results for Newcastle, it was good to win. And I think, again, statement wins give you confidence. Yeah. So, you win 2-0, you're happy. You win 8-0, you feel good. Would they feel too good? Because they won 5-1 the first game and then didn't carry that momentum. So something to watch out. There might be a team of, brilliance and then no consistency. Something we'll have to monitor. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially after the European Games as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be another one in that list that we just mentioned. Right, so that concludes last week's games. So match day 7, not 37. We're kicking off with Aston Villa Brighton. So 2 of our favourite teams are the football hipsters' choice. How do we see that going? Aston Villa at home.
So I have a T-shirt that you will see which says Diaby's shot on target anytime. No, we've hyped Villa, we've hyped Brighton. I think it's a great game. I made a little multiple with, Diaby, McGinn and Welbeck to have a shot on target. That's 6.5 times the money. It is 3 different shots on target, but, there were goals in those teams' games. I have a little bit more crafty one if you believe in Brighton, which is a single. It's a draw at halftime and Brighton to win at 7. But here it's just hunting for value. You have to look within yourself as well. If you think one of the team is going to win, and then which one you think that team is. I'm leaning Brighton at the moment, but
I am as well.
Okay, so you're mentioning your T-shirt. Yeah. I've got a T-shirt as well.
Oh, you do.
Which says,
I'm
here for the spice. To honour that statement, I think this is the fixture. I've got one of the spicier bets. As you said, and funnily enough, it does include that Diaby shot on target. We did not speak about that before this podcast. I can promise you that.
We did not.
But I think the sort of line or the basis of my bet here is around Brighton shot on target.
Yeah.
They create a lot of chances, and again, we've talked about Aston Villa's high defending line. I think they're going to be exposed. They were against Chelsea, but it was disguised by winning 1-0.
Yeah.
So over 5.5, Brighton shot on target. Diaby to have a shot on target. Joao Pedro to have a shot on target. and over 4.5 corners for Brighton. I think I really like that bet builder. 7 times the money. I think good price. If you just want to go for the shot on target for Brighton, over 5.5 shots on target is, I've got it in fractional. So 31 to 20, which is 255. Over 6.5 is 380. So that's for the gutsy, and I think that's actually achievable.
That's not bad. I think this should be one of the most pleasant games to watch this weekend if it goes the way we've been hyping it up.
Yeah,
I think 12:30 games are always so nice because you wake up and you do a little stuff and here and there and boom, it's the first game. So I think it should be a good one.
Do little stuff. I love that.
Saturday morning stuff. But but if you look at the lines, I mean, 255 Aston Villa, 265 Brighton. Just flip a coin, man. It's hard to know.
I think it's going to be an entertaining game.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably see a similar outlook as was to the North London derby, probably with plenty of goals, plenty of corners, and plenty of cards again.
Yeah.
And then we have the second of the double header between Man United and Crystal Palace. If United play like they did in the Cup, I think that, again, should be a routine win. But we don't know this United team at the moment. And Palace have been all right in the league so far. So, yeah, have we got anything on that, boys?
I didn't have them in the same order as you, so I'm scrolling down now. No, I did not. I did not have anything on that one. I think it's a real opportunity for United to build the confidence as well and to, potentially win another game and at home and so on. Palace haven't been amazing. They haven't been terrible either. The price is very high for Palace or draw. So it's 160 on United.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this. There's no value
No.
in the prices or anything. And I think, as we've alluded to, we don't really know what Man United are going to do. I think we pretty much know what Palace can do and how they will play, but it's so erratic that I have a hard time finding any good choices.
It's for United to win or lose.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably look at 345 for Hannibal, the Cannibal, to get another yellow card. It seems to be pretty standard for every game he plays, but that's about it.
He's very aggressive.
He's so aggressive.
Slightly.
And rash.
And
erratic. Yeah.
So that's the
I
thing.
actually think we need that aggression in there, though. I think we need that. I think we've lacked a bit of that physicality. All within reason, obviously. But yeah, it will be interesting to see who even gets the pick in midfield now because they've all come back and Amrabat had a good game. So we'll see how that shapes up. Next game for the weekend is Newcastle, fresh off their 8-0 against Burnley, who have been pretty atrocious so far. Newcastle at home.
So one thing there.
What's what we got that?
Yeah, Newcastle plays City at the time of this recording, which is Wednesday. They play City tonight and PSG in a week. So how do you balance these? You never want to go out of the cup, but I think they will be judged on their finishing position in the league. They will only be judged on that. If they're out of the top 4 or 6 and they win the FA Cup, it's not a brilliant season, or the FL Drink Cup, whatever you call it.
And their team's a little bit thin now because Harvey Barnes got injured now as well, right? So they've only got Anthony Gordon to play on the left.
Very true.
So yeah, I don't know. I've gone just for Connor Roberts to get a card. He'll be up against Anthony Gordon in the game, who gets fouled on average 2.4 times. So I think that's pretty high, and he was on fire when he came on against Sheffield United. So
if we think Burnley are bad and Newcastle is building on the momentum, Newcastle -2.
For me, it's just that they play tonight, and you want to see what team they put out. If they put out their starting lineup tonight, then I'm staying the hell away from this game because I could see them just going like, right, top team here, then playing PSG, like you said, and they will definitely play their top team against PSG.
100%. At home, Europe, first game.
Yeah.
This is what they've been waiting. Yeah.
So, and if they then start trying to be experimental, saving a couple players, or alternative, if they play the same lineup every game, they're going to get tied. They look tied against Milan last week.
Injured.
So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm staying away from the result. I think Connor Roberts to get a card is at 395. I think is a little bit higher than what I would have expected. So that's the only kind of value that I've found, really.
I like it.
Me too.
And the next game, as we just mentioned, they'll also be playing tonight, is Man City playing Wolves. Wolves at home in that one. I guess we'll see another routine City win on this, right?
I mean, we're going to say yes every week, and we'll probably miss it once or twice in the season. So I'll tell you yes on that basis. I mean, I'm probably going to get a new t-shirt after this. Diaby t-shirt was probably a Neto shot on target. This is 230 against City. I think he got an assist a couple of weeks ago. He tries a lot. He scored a a very nice goal this week. I think, even if they're getting attacked from all sides by City, if someone's going to have a chance, it's him. So I think 230 shot on target is okay. You can couple that with a Lemina card or an Ait Nouri card, and that will be 5 or 625 if you want to hunt for a bit more value. I just think at that time of game, they'll get a card or two. There'll be frustration. So yeah, but I'm staying away from any other, 1x2 bets or Asian handicaps and so on. Because it could be 2-0, it could be 5-0, it could be like...
My notes literally say Man City minus 1.5 if they rest players tonight versus Newcastle.
Yeah.
So that still depend on that game.
100%. But I'll back Neto for the shot on target. Might be a weekly thing, like an auto bet.
Auto bet, yes.
Auto bet. But yeah, other than that, didn't see too much. If you find the right guy to get a card, I think Wolves are in for 2-3 cards in the game.
Yeah.
But
Semedo is normally a good shout as well.
I think Ait Nouri as well, because I think he gets exposed. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next game this week will be Arsenal playing Bournemouth. Bournemouth are home in that. Again, Bournemouth haven't really impressed this season, and Arsenal have been hit and miss, I'd say. Declan Rice is out as well, right? He's got an injury.
Yeah, Jorginho was great when he came on against Spurs, wasn't he? Just gave the ball away immediately and to Maddison, and Son scored. So yeah, I think Arsenal are a much better team than Bournemouth.
Oh yeah,
personally,
I
100%.
I'd super simply just go on the -1 on the Asian line and at 179. That for me is like a routine win for Arsenal.
Yeah.
If they win by 1 goal, you get your money back. Basically, that's for me a simple bet. That's just I can't see any other way than an Arsenal victory.
No. I think that's a very good shout and a decent value. You get your money back if they only win by 1. You win money if they win by 2.
Yeah.
You're good. I think I don't have all the prices, but if you watch regularly Arsenal, is it Odegaard shot on target? Is it Saka? 2 weeks ago, Saka didn't get it. A week later, Odegaard got it. So, you're going to pick it week in, week out. Depends on the game
They have
itself.
lots of players that can damage the opponent. So yeah, like you say, it's not the same one every time. And even from deeper positions, you have players like Kai Havertz might play right, and he's normally a more attacking player. On the weekend, they start Nketiah and Jesus in the same game.
Yeah, even our boy Zinchenko, mate, who's I was surprised when City let him go a few years ago. I think he's driven, he crosses, he shoots. So that's the thing with Arsenal. It's hard to find the right player bets. But for them as a team, this is how you achieve great seasons. When anyone can score, anyone can bring danger. So, but yeah, I think I'll take your -1. I think that's a sensible bet.
The next game of the weekend is West Ham Sheffield United. Obviously, we've been slating Sheffield United throughout the podcast. We fancy West Ham to get back to winning ways here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully Cameron... I was just about to say Cameron's room again. Hopefully...
I'm getting you a t-shirt. I'm getting you a t-shirt for that.
Yeah, I think I need one. Hopefully he doesn't post anything about finishing above Sheffield United, but they should be safe on that one, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, if Paul Heckingbottom is still their manager by the weekend, I expect them to set up extremely defensively in that game. Like, literally, he'll just tell the team, you are not going to concede, on the back of conceding 8. Still fancy West Ham to get a couple, though. I mean, you mentioned Bowen, that his value maybe is a bit less, but he has 4 goals in 6 games. He's still 265 to score. I think it's quite a good price. I mean, for a team that's just shipped in 8 goals, that he's going to get a goal against them. So I'll probably go with that. Not massive stakes, but...
Fun fact, West Ham is playing in the Cup tonight as well against Lincoln City, who kicked out Sheffield in the previous round. So they don't even need to line up the good squad against Lincoln.
I could see players like Kudus playing tonight and stuff, so that's...
But I also have our good boy, what's his face, Hammer, to get a shot on target. I think that was... Because that came in 2 weekends ago, that was pretty decent. It's 2.2?
Gustavo!
2.3, Gustavo, yeah. And then as a former PSG fan, I know I don't see this necessarily happening in the game, but Kerr to get a card is 4.1, and the guy is he's
a lunatic.
Not as rash as the one we were mentioning earlier, but sometimes it's just every 1 or 2 challenges he goes a bit deeper. I think that's from spending too much time with Kimpembe in the PSG years.
Yeah.
So you get a bit erratic.
Yeah.
So I take 4 times the money. It's good. Obviously they're in a much better position in that game, so that's why he's that high to get a card. But if someone's going to get one, it's probably him.
Yeah. I think for me, and this is dependent on the lineups, to be fair, but I think if you go by the hypothesis that West Ham get a penalty, I think that's quite feasible.
Yeah.
Who takes their penalties? Is it Benrahma or is it Paqueta these days? I think both have taken penalties in the past. It might be Jared Bowen even.
Yeah.
Whoever, and especially if it's Paqueta or Benrahma, for them to score is probably going to be decent odds to go for something like that. They can obviously score in normal gameplay as well, but that would be my sort of joker bet for a game like this.
Fair, yeah.
I mean, it's always these very far-fetched assumptions with 7 steps in them, just like Eddie Howe was going to be the first manager to be sacked.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
We've remembered that, Niklas. We've got it noted down.
Yeah.
It's good you reminded me because I completely forgot.
No, it's on record, mate. We've recorded all these episodes, funny enough. Next game is Everton Luton. So obviously 2 teams that we've discussed quite a lot on the pod. Everton at home. You got a plan to build on their win from last week.
Calvert-Lewin to score.
Calvert-Lewin
to score.
Even multiple goals.
So Unibet gives you a pre-made bet builder, which is over 9.5 corners, under 3.5 corners for Luton Town, under 2.5 cards for Everton, and over 0.5 goals for Luton. So obviously that includes Luton scoring, but that's 10 times the money. My other bet is a bit more risky, but Everton halftime full-time, 238. But again, that's banking they have a good game and Luton have a not so good game. But
I think Everton are going to win by at least 3 goals.
Yep, here we go.
I'm on the minus 1.5 at 270. I think this is one of those times where I'm like, I could see them scoring a few. I might even consider the minus 2.5 line. They are that much better, even if they're not good.
Luton played Tuesday in the cup and lost. Everton's playing Wednesday at Villa. Who do you play in that game? Who do you play in the weekend? They don't have the biggest squad depth.
I could see Sean Dyche resting quite a few players tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Calvert-Lewin probably started.
But then he's not coming on
Just to
Saturday.
mention his name.
No, we need him on Saturday. Wait, did I have a tip? No, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Cem.
That's all right. Pick of the week this week is Tottenham Liverpool. So obviously both teams in very good form. Liverpool's been churning out wins, haven't they? And Tottenham, obviously, we've mentioned before, how long is the gravy train going to last with Tottenham? You know, are they going to be able to maintain this form for the rest of the season? You know, they obviously looked pretty decent and comfortable against Arsenal. So let's see how this one shapes up. Well, how have we got it?
I mean, it's kind of reflected in the pricing, but you could see it's really low kind of odds on both teams to score is down to 140, I think, which is ridiculous.
That's one of the lowest I've seen it, yeah.
The line is normally around 2.5 for this 3.5 goals. I'd still tip on the over side rather than the unders. It's quite difficult to find any good value. The only thing that I really did like, he might not start obviously, but if Richarlison plays, that guy hates Liverpool so much since his Everton days. I mean, he got a yellow after he scored the equaliser against Liverpool last season, before Lucas Moura gave Jota the ball for the goal. He got yellow season before that for Everton. I think he had a red back in 2020 against Liverpool. He's the guy. I mean, even if he comes on with 20 minutes to spare, if there's a card option on him, take it all day. And that he's priced at 5.10 to get a card in that game. I would price him at evens. Personally.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Evens.
Yeah. Almost odds on. I'd put him to get a card.
180.
Yeah.
One thing to notice on a more betting / football. Liverpool are favourites. Our price favourite of a game against Tottenham, who had a good start of the season. So we're saying Liverpool is struggling a bit, and that shows you something. It's in London. Liverpool are favourite.
Yeah.
I think it's just because Liverpool, like they're becoming a bit machine-like the way the City are this season. In that they might not be playing well. I'm not comparing them to City, but they seem to be getting results every week. I've not been massively impressed with it, but they seem to be churning out the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could argue that Tottenham has a decent string of results as well.
Yeah.
So
They haven't lost yet this season either.
they're unbeaten. So
Yeah.
I would say both teams look vulnerable defensively, and with Son as well, that's like quite an efficient striker for Spurs, and yeah. So, but I could see Liverpool creating tons of chances in the game as well. So I think it's the team that takes the most chances will probably win the game.
and Liverpool needs to start it well, because otherwise you could be 2-0 down.
Yeah, but I still think could come back and win if you're 2-0 down. Like, it's literally such an open
100%.
game for me.
Yeah, I know.
That,
But you would make it a
shouldn't
lot harder.
discount a team unless they're maybe 4 goals down. That's the only time when you should.
I agree with you. I actually have another spicy one for this.
Of course you do.
Yeah, let's bring the choice. Let's go. I've got. Apparently, it's not that spicy. Yeah.
Lemon and herb.
So I've got a 3-player shot on target combination bet of the aforementioned Son to have actually over 1.5 shots on target. He scored twice during the weekend.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai, whatever.
Nice
quite good
pronunciation. That's
pronunciation.
pretty good.
Oh,
That's pretty
yeah.
good.
The two of you are clearly Hungarian speakers. So yeah,
Obviously.
cool.
I'm a great listener. But
Yeah, of course. For him to have a shot on target and Brennan Johnson to have a shot on target, he had 2 against Arsenal. I think that's priced at 8. I quite fancy that.
That's
I
not
like
bad.
that. If Brennan Johnson plays, because he did go off with a bit of a muscle
Yeah.
problem, but
If they
he
start-
didn't look terrible.
No.
So yeah.
If they start, I like it.
Yeah,
And if he does start, then I'd want to look at someone like Konate to get a cut, because he'll be covering on that right with Trent moving into midfield. So then suddenly
Some
you're
ground.
up against pace. Yeah.
And I think that's Tottenham's game plan. Pace.
But Tottenham play the same way, right? Both teams play with that inverted fullback, so there's loads of space down the sides. I think you saw, did Romero and Udogie get a yellow card for Tottenham on the weekend? Yeah. So
I'm annoyed with Romero because he's always most favourite to get a card, so I don't take him. And
But
then,
then
when
he
I
gets
take,
one every
but then-
time.
and then I take him and he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
The one time I take him,
Yeah.
it's a great story with Romero, mate.
yeah, I could see him battling it out with Darwin Núñez
Oh,
quite
yeah.
nicely in that game.
Massively.
Yeah.
2 South Americans as well.
Just mental. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the next game is a mid-table, I'd say, mid-table clash between Nottingham Forest Brentford.
I think Forest fans would appreciate you calling them mid-table, to be fair.
I think they are. I think
Yeah.
I said it a few weeks ago on one of the podcasts where I said I think that they will be aiming to be mid-table.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked at this game and I was like, I don't know. The only thing I kind of thought, if someone held a knife like to my throat, then I'd probably go like Forest draw no bet, but that would be extremely low stakes.
I thought that was just to make you watch it. Like I'll probably watch it if someone.
Or
holds
if
me
I have
at
to
gunpoint.
watch the game just for a bit of side entertainment, I'll go like Forest draw no bet at 194, just because Brentford looks so rubbish against Everton.
I'm not gonna do it here, but we're gonna tip a 0-0 one day because
Yeah.
maybe not that one, but I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Draw.
But
Draw.
Yeah. Well,
3-15.
then
Done.
I'll get my money back. I'm happy with that. Just for a bit of side entertainment.
Also, last time we tipped a draw, it came in at 0-0. So, draw.
Oh, the Fulham one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I claim a draw here. 3-15. Remember where you heard it.
I mean, you could be the draw whisperer.
Yeah.
You could be the draw whisperer.
And then, moving on to our final game this week. It's another London derby, which it seems to be every week. Fulham-Chelsea, Fulham at home. It's going to be a tricky one for Chelsea, who can't seem to be scoring at the moment. It wouldn't be a bad tip to see Fulham nicking a point at least out of this.
I mean, Fulham is 375 times the money at home. This is unheard of. To play against a team who hasn't won this season. So it's like, it's so weird because every week Chelsea needs to be priced as the fact that they are Chelsea. As in with all what it came before that. But also not. Like it's I almost don't want to bet on these games. 'Cause, I mean, what are you going to find? What did you have on this, Lou?
Yeah, I would personally stay well away. I think if you have to go for something, I'd probably, again, if you have to, which isn't great for, responsible gaming wise and all that, then I'd probably go for the unders in the game just because Chelsea just can't score any goals. And Fulham's not great going forwards. I mean, Jimenez is such a downgrade from Mitrovic when it comes to goal scoring and in general play as well, to be fair. He's awful.
But he doesn't get 21 yellow cards in one season.
He doesn't get 21 yellow cards in one season. He did get a red once for kicking the ball away twice. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I just can't see Fulham really scoring in the game. Even if kind of Chelsea managed to win the game, I can't see them winning by maybe scoring 1 or 2 goals and making it 2-0.
2 times the money to win. Would be their first win, right? Would be the first win?
Chelsea?
They didn't win. No, they won 1.
They must have won 1.
Oh my.
Surely.
Oh my days.
Yeah, they probably won 1.
They beat Luton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. That's the one.
They beat Luton.
Okay, so on track.
The worst team in the league, so yeah well done.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this game. I mean, if Mitrovic was here, I would back him to get a yellow, but he's not.
I mean, Palhinha, I haven't actually checked the price on him, but that guy he gets a lot of yellow cards, man. Like, he doesn't care. He's going to chop someone during a match, regardless.
Yeah. Like, Fulham could see this as a great opportunity to get 3 points, so they might be a bit more aggressive, kind of press on Chelsea while they're down. Because, I mean, we say it every week, I do think that at some point Chelsea will wake up. I don't know what that means, but they will start being better.
What they create, I think they just need probably that 1 or 2 games in a row where they actually manage to score a few goals. It doesn't need to be pretty goals, but they need to go in for them. And then, from there on out, they start improving. But right now, couldn't hit a barn door.
So not to sound like Cem, but my Chelsea mate... No, there's a colleague here in the company. He's a Chelsea fan, and we all probably look too much at stats in today's world. But he said they had the biggest XG of the league.
Yeah, it's true.
And some other stat that was unreal compared to how they're performing. Like 2 stats were so good. So it has to pay out at some point.
Should have signed a striker then with that £1 billion that they've spent in the last couple of years.
I don't know. They had Lukaku and gave him and had him back and gave him. Like I lost track.
Yeah,
it's telenovela, mate.
Just the longer it goes on, the more you fear for it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Let's enjoy it while it lasts.
Right, well, I think that concludes us for Game Week 7 of the podcast. Obviously, thanks for joining us again, boys, especially the Guinness World Record Holder. We'll be back again. We'll be back again next week as we look ahead to the next week of fixtures. Obviously, the pick of next week is Liverpool-Brighton kicking off. And
Liverpool every week seems to be the pick of the week.
Yeah, Liverpool have had some good games, and obviously Arsenal versus Man City, so we will be previewing that.
Ooh, looking forward to this.
Yeah,
looking forward to that match day. Yeah, and it comes after a Champions League week as well, so some teams, like as we saw last week, there was a bit of different vibe in those post-Champions League games. So yeah, interesting. Thanks,
Fantastic. Guys. Well, I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much for joining.